I bow to all the seekers of truth. As I told you yesterday, that truth is what it is. We cannot transform it, we cannot change it, and we cannot know it at human awareness. I never read scriptures. I don't think I have to read them because I know them. But I was rereading the Quran and also the Bible from this science, Christian science thing. All other scriptures also. I mean, what they are saying is absolutely true, that you have to be righteous. You have to be above violence. You have to be detached. All these things are absolutely the same, no doubt. There's no change. In all these scriptures, they say the same thing. This was said about 8,000 years back by Sri Rama, then by Sri Krishna. Then it was said by Socrates, Lao Tse, Abraham. All of them have said the same thing. Then Muhammad said the same thing, Nanaka said the same thing. Now what's wrong? Still we find all these people are not what they are supposed to be. And is admitted. And they give explanation for that. Like I was reading, the intellectuals from Islam, they said that Islam is very different from Muslims. But they must get educated. If they get educated in Islam, they'll be all right. I've seen many Islamic people who are very well educated. There's nothing of the kind. They are just like anybody else in any religion whatsoever. So what is the missing point? That we should find out. Why everything has failed. Also, I was reading, your Archbishop here was saying that we are full of violence. We have child abuse, we have domestic violence, other violences. So much it has increased. Why? Despite all these teachings, all these sciences, everything, the Islam, the Buddhism, the Anatherism, there's no end to it, Jainism, all, and books after books and libraries full, saying the same thing. Then why is it that nobody has been able to establish that kind of a society which is being predicted and promised? The one thing they have missed is that you have to become yourself. You have to be born again. As in Sanskrit language, a person who is a realized soul is called as Dvijaha. Dvi means twice, Ja means born. And also a bird is called as a Dvijaha because it is first an egg and then it becomes a bird. So this is the point we have missed in all the religions. There's nothing wrong with the incarnations, nothing wrong with all the prophets and every one of them. What is wrong is that we human beings have not achieved what they said. And that's why whatever we mentally know, everything we know mentally, by heart, there are people I know who can recite Bible, recite Quran, recite Dhampad, everything they can recite. But nothing goes beyond that. It has to come to the heart. That's the spirit. Because we have not become the spirit. We cannot absorb it into our being. Our religion stays outside, we remain outside. It has no control over us because the self-control is only our ego that controls. But the self-control means the control of the spirit is not there. Unless and until you become the spirit, and the spirit comes into your attention when you are completely enlightened, then you just don't do wrong. You cannot think of these things. You become righteous automatically because you are in the light. Without the light, in the darkness, you cannot achieve that, whatever is promised. You may be good in one thing, but in another thing you may be bad. You might be very good for some moral things, then you will be very bad in legal things. It will be not a perfect personality as being expected in those scriptures. The reason is the equipment within us is the spirit. And if we do not use that equipment with this mind, we will just have mental projections. And that is the problem of today's religions. There's nothing wrong with them. They are all just the same, saying the same thing, I am saying the same thing. The difference is, in Sahaja Yoga, we have been able to establish a society of people in about, I think, 62 countries we are working, but 52 countries have got very good centers. People who are absolutely moral. Absolutely. Christ was when he said such a subtle thing about morality, thou shalt not have adulterous eyes. Now, for a person not to have adulterous eyes is an impossibility in the West. The whole system, the whole culture has become adulterous. Now, Christ, I must say, the subtlest of subtle on morality. Subtlest of subtle. And when he said that, he was expecting that kind of a society where the eyes become innocent. Absolutely innocent. You'll be surprised in Sahaja Yoga, we have achieved that. Thousands of people, thousands and thousands, have got those innocent eyes. We don't have this flirtation, this nonsense, one man running with another man's wife. And all that nonsense is finished. That never comes into their minds. They lead a very good, happy married life, and they have very beautiful, realized souls born to them. Such a beautiful society has been formed. No question of child abuse, no question. Nobody can even think of it. They all have become so righteous. They are from different countries, from different races, different religion, different races, everything different. But as far as morality is concerned, as far as legal life is concerned, as far as violence is concerned, they are above everyone else. And the way they live, you'll be amazed that when I first went to Russia, 25 Germans flew down to Moscow. I was amazed, how are they there? They said, Mother, don't you think it is our responsibility? Such gentle people these Germans have become. You won't believe they are Germans by any chance when you have seen Gestapo and all those things. I mean, they are just the opposite of that. Such beautiful people, just like angels, I tell you. How they have become like this? This is something we have to understand, that we have failed the religions we are following. The reason is simple, that we have not had our realization. We have not used our self, the power of our spirit. This is the experience one must have. Without the experience, all talk is talk and talk and talk, and people go mad with it, actually. If you want to sit with someone like that, if there is someone who is well read, you will feel like running away from that person within 5 minutes and jump in the sea. He'll eat you off and just go on bombarding whatever the things he has. But nothing. And if you see his private life, he is no better than us. People are amazed to see that some priests in Austria, there's a very book has come as priest, has got keeps, as married women are keeps, they have got children. Then some in Canada have abused school children, one after another, thousands of them. They are so unsafe. Now they don't want to have women here as priests. I don't know what's the problem is that way. You see, it's all it's such a mental behavior about everything. That's not going to lead us anywhere. We have to have this world full of peace, full of joy, full of friendship and brotherhood. That's what we have come to. Now we have reached that point. We don't want to have any more wars. But even if there are no more wars, still see Israel, Lebanon fighting. It's going on and on and on. And if you talk to an Israeli, you will feel that this man is so overread. We had some Israeli people coming to our program. One of them was a rabbi. And he gave me such a big lecture to begin with. I said, you sit down. I gave him realization. I said, you give me the lecture. He said, no more. I found it. So this is what a new category of people who are trying to find out the truth. And please find out the truth first of all. Instead of that, somebody has told you, because I am born a Christian, you are born a Hindu, you are born this thing, so become that. All right, but these brands have no use. These are just brands, has no meaning. Only it has a meaning when we get our self-realization. It is very surprising, we are still going on the same line. And Archbishop of Canterbury also, he sent his man to see me. And he asked me, what is it different? I said, it is very much different. Either these religions have become money-oriented or have become what you can call the power-oriented. They are not spirit-oriented. Let them become spirit-oriented. None of them are spirit-oriented. If you are just power-oriented or money-oriented, then it will create problem. So, but still they think they are doing well. They are all right. I personally think that all of you who are now here should get your self-realization, and then you see Christ. Then you read Bible. Then you will know what it is. Every word is like a chanting. Every word has a meaning. But you cannot read between the lines because we haven't got those divine light within us. Just also so many false gurus have come, false people, this big name, that big name, such huge big names you don't know. In America there are organizations which talk of the universal divine light, this, that, everything universal. Nothing is universal in them. So by just taking a big name or making a big money, it is not to be achieved. Money has nothing to do with God. I tell you, I promise you, God doesn't understand banking. It doesn't. It's our headache. We have created all this nonsense of this taxation, banking, this. I also don't understand much, I must say, I must confess. Because it's something funny, you know. Then we have lots of games connected with money. Then the power game is going on. How can these organizations be one with any government, with anything like that? What has government to do? I mean, only it is God's government. It is His kingdom we should seek. Once you get into that kingdom, you automatically become legal. You don't have to read any laws, nothing. You become legal automatically because you become so righteous. You don't want to do anything wrong. But supposing they want to crucify, they can. I mean, that's different because they are crazy people. But otherwise, it's such a wonderful life. Now, these Sahajogis are here. I hope I gave you yesterday realization, and today also we'll do it. But after that, I would request you to go and see for yourself how they are, how they behave, and test them. And you will be amazed that all this reading is useless unless and until you get your self-realization. It's like this. Supposing I have a headache, so I tell you that go and take Anasin. I write it a prescription for you. Now you are reading, take Anasin, take Anasin, take Anasin. But don't take Anasin, all right? So your headache will increase or decrease. I mean, logically. Just by reading, how can we reach there? So this is a simple thing we have to understand. It's not only about all these religions, but also otherwise I have seen these false people who come here. They also will give you a mantra, something stupid. For this TM gave for 300 pounds a mantra to Westerners called as Tinga, Inga, Pinga. These are not Sanskrit words. It means very funny. Inga means the scorpion's bite. 300 pounds for scorpion bite mantra. Then second one is, really I tell you, the second one is Pinga. When you, it's not also Sanskrit, it's some sort of a local language. That when you get possessed, you go on like this, that is Pinga. And the Tinga is when you show somebody like this. Can you imagine? They paid 300 pounds. And they were told not to tell it to anybody because if you tell any Indian, he would just laugh. Such a big secret. And every time they take out a new thing, then they started a flying squad. Flying squad called as the Flying Foundation in Scotland. You see, the director of that, a deputy director of that, the wife of the director and their daughter, 4 of them got epilepsy and bankruptcy. So they came to him. He's writing a book now. He's from South Africa. Poor man. He was a diamond merchant. He's finished. His wife was the granddaughter of a duke. And this deputy director, another rich man, all of them have lost all their money. And all kinds of lies he made them tell because they had invested the money. And people believed. I don't know how people can believe such nonsensical things. He said, I just passed through the wall. I came to America without a passport. Everybody believed in America. And the evangelist, the other day I was there in America, I must tell you, he was talking of, after the program, I don't know why they started the television, and I started feeling that, look at this man. He was saying, now, he had $100 note in his hand. He said, you must release and receive. I didn't know what was release and receive. He said, see, in the market they put bargain. That first they release, then they receive. So you must release. So you must release $100 to them, these persons, the phone number, everything coming up. Imagine that Americans tolerate all this nonsense and absorb it. And then he told a story that one lady released this. This is for her grocery. So next day she opens the door and the grocery in front of her door. Can you imagine such a nonsense? And they tolerated it. Such a blatant nonsense, I tell you, and the Americans digest it. All these talks, you should not digest. You must think for yourself and for your benevolence. No use belonging to anything. You belong to yourself first of all. And you should know that you all can become the self and you can be enlightened people and have all that has been promised to you in all these scriptures. You will enjoy the kingdom of God and you will see for yourself that you will get it. For that you cannot pay. I have already told you cannot pay. So it is as simple as that, and it works out in a very simple manner. But you must have strong desire to have this realization, that's all. Yesterday I told you that I'll tell you about the spirit, the nature of the spirit. I've been traveling and talking. The first nature of spirit is this, that when it manifests in your attention, then your attention becomes enlightened. And you can feel on your central nervous system, this all-pervading power about which I told you yesterday, which is the divine power which does all the living work, is the living God and His living power. First time you start feeling, yesterday so many of you felt cool or a hot breeze like waves flowing into your hands. That should happen. Then, this is first thing that happens when you become the spirit, means the awakening takes place. Then secondly, you become absolutely thoughtlessly aware. Thoughts cannot bombard you anymore. Because as we have seen here, this on one side is your conditioning, another side is your ego. That covers. Now, it is meeting here. In between is the limbic area. In medical terminology, it's limbic area. But we call it as Sahasrara with 1,000 petals. Now, what happens that when this center, Agya, that is the center of Christ. When it opens, it is awakened, means Christ is awakened, this goes like this. And this is sucked inside that Agya Chakra. So you become thoughtlessly aware. Means there is thought which just goes away. One thought rises, falls, again thought rises, falls. And we are jumping on the cusp of the thoughts. But when this happens, You are no more in the future and the past from where the thoughts come in, but you are in the center. That is, you are in the present. So you can exist in the present. If you want, you can think. If you don't want, you need not think. But then the inspiration from the divine starts coming. The inspiration starts coming. Such people I have known in India also, everywhere. They have become great artists, great musicians. They have become great painters. So many have become writers and orators. Because all these conditionings that are there, or the ego has gone away, and you are connected with the divine, and you are getting all the inspiration from divine, which is absolute. Which is absolute. Because spirit is the absolute. Means you know the absolute truth. There's no difference of opinion between the 2 persons or 100 persons. Whatever they know about one, supposing some lady is there and you want to feel her, say, chakras, everybody will say the same thing. Everyone will say that this is the center. If they say so, this is the center, everybody says the same thing, means that they know the absolute. There is no quarrel about it, no fight about it. They cannot quarrel because they know the whole thing. Now supposing, as I said, I am wearing a white sari, everybody sees that, all right, it's a white one. So as you see it, that's how you know. And then what you talk, you walk. You just don't talk. You talk the same way you walk. What you read, whatever are the precepts, become your practices. Automatically. You don't have to do it. I don't have to say, don't do like this. As a result of this happening, first of all bad habits drop out. You'll be amazed in England. Drug addicts came of the worst type and overnight they dropped it. Alcoholism or overnight. I never said don't do. If I said don't do, means half of them will walk out. But it just works. It is your own power. It is your own spirit that manifests it. And that gives you this special power by which you are really empowered and you can do anything that you want to, which is for your benevolence. You just drop out things without any difficulties, without any problem. As I told you also that people have been cured of incurable diseases. But that has nothing to do with me. It's your own kundalini, it's your own power. But the spirit, when it gives you a complete, perfect idea of truth, you just have to know how to overcome or how to correct your own centers. And that spirit vibrates with this cool breeze. As soon as you are corrected, you find all your fingers are flowing all right, it's working all right. And you feel extremely joyous because that is the nature of spirit, that it is joy. It is the ocean of joy. Joy is not like happiness or unhappiness. When ego is pampered, we feel happy. When it is hurt, we feel unhappy. It's not like that. You're above it. And you witness the whole thing like a drama. And you are always in the ocean of joy. That is an experience you have to have. It is so wonderful that such a time has come now for all us to take to ourselves. This is the way the last judgment is going to work out. Last judgment doesn't mean that we'll be weighed. No, it doesn't mean that. It means this Kundalini will rise and she will tell herself what's wrong with you. Even in Quran is written very clearly that when the time of resurrection will come, your hands will speak and they'll give witness against you. This is what Sahaja Yoga is. Even in Buddha Dharma, they have said that Bodhisattva will be coming. Bodhisattva means a person who will not only make you realize so, but also teach you how to give it to others, to the society, to the nation, to the world. That is the Bodhisattva. And this is what One has to know that even in Buddha Dharma or in Jainism, everywhere they have described about the future when human beings will receive all these things. And that's the time has come now for you to receive everything. Without releasing anything, you have to just receive. Reception is needed, and I'm sure it will work out tonight again as it worked out that day. I'm sorry there are no questions here. You have any questions? Have you? About the questions, I'll say now I've been doing this kind of a job for 21 years now. And I've become quite an expert. So I will answer all your questions, but that doesn't guarantee your realization for one thing.
Please explain how to treat gossip and lies.
How to
treat those who gossip and lies?
Good. I mean, as long as you do not gossip and lie, it's all right. You shouldn't worry about others. Those who tell you lies and gossip, let them have their own time. But as long as you do not deceive anyone, as long as you do not gossip, that's the best. And after self-realization, you don't do.
What is the path we follow when we die? How long before we are aware and mobile again?
Now, about the death, we should not worry. We are talking about the present. Death is nothing but changing your dress, that's all. It is nothing, but that you will realize very soon as you get realization. You will never think of your death. And even at the time of death, there are very few Sahaja yogis who have so far died. Always they die after the age of 73, 75, something like that. Though they were told that you will die within 1 day or say 1 month, they are still all right. Some blood cancer patients and all that, they are still all right. So, one doesn't think about that. One thinks about the present, enjoys the present. And when the death comes, it doesn't mind. It's all right. It's nothing important. But you are protected. You will never die in an accident, you will never die in a funny way. Somebody cannot kill you, you will be saved. You will die very peacefully.
Can you please explain, Shri Mataji, how to release pain?
It depends on the kind of pain you have. And if you have a physical pain, in Sahaja Yoga we have so many methods by which we can release the pain. Mentally also, this is only meditation that will help you. 5 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening. For every center, there's a way they'll tell you, they know everything. You just follow it. All the pains can be relieved in no time. That's all.
Those were the 3 on paper. I don't know if there's any in the audience. Does anybody have a question?
From the audience. Depends on. You see, after self-realization, it is your sweet will whenever you want to be born. But incarnations are born after 2000 years normally, because they want to correct people or to establish again some goodness in them. And also some people who die actually hang around also. They don't want to die. Some sort of, they have still some greed left in them or some sort of thing, so they hang. Some go into limbo, as they say. So all these things are different varieties. But for Sahaja Yogis, no problem. If you are a Sahaja Yogi, you die at your will and you are born at your will. If you want to. And you will, because you want to save the world. You get such compassion. And we don't pay to any Sahaja Yogis anything, neither we take anything from you. But look at now here, there are people from Sydney, from here and there, they all are here. Just compassion. Isn't it nice to feel that way? Everyone wants to look after you. You become part and parcel of the whole, and everyone wants to really help each other in every way possible. Also materially you improve, I must say. It's not a lie, but it's a fact. Because I was myself surprised that in London we have so many Saj Yogis in England, and none of them are unemployed, surprisingly. Unemployment is so high there. And here also I find all of them are very well placed and doing very well. Everything works out. This is mother's chocolate, you see.
There's one here, Shri. How did you discover the system in 1970?
No, I knew this. I knew everything. But the problem was I wanted to discover a system by which I could give realization en masse, to masses, not to one person, you see. Because one person makes no difference. All these great incarnations came here and they suffered. So anything that is discovered, say electricity was discovered by one gentleman, by one individual, then it was worked out. Now it is for masses. You see? So everything that is there has to be for the masses. So what I have discovered is only an en masse realization. How to give? By studying human beings, what problems they have, their permutations and combinations, and it worked out.
Are you past the situation of experiencing ecstasy and agony at the same time?
Experience of?
Experiencing ecstasy and agony at the same time.
You see, these two are two phases of one coin. You see, these are dualities. What you have to have is just joy. So sometimes people are in ecstasy, and sometimes in remorse or some sort of a very harmful type of depressions. But you get out of it completely. That's the thing you have to experience. Ecstasy is coming actually not from the divine, it comes from just, I would say, from emotional feelings. And also the depression comes from the same, or it may come from ego. Supposing somebody suddenly is announced as the Prime Minister, see feel the ecstasy. Then they say, no, you are not elected. Then the depression. At the same time, you can have it. All right? But this is a different, absolutely different, absolutely pure joy.
You spoke about the desire, the need to have a desire for self-realization, but aren't we trying to become desireless?
That is how. Once you get your realization, then you become desireless. But first you must have desire. Because the reason is, you have been given freedom. Human beings have got freedom, not the animals. So I respect that freedom. So unless and until you desire, I cannot force it on you. That's why you have to have desire. Then you become absolutely desireless. But you become so powerful, whatever you desire, even by chance, is there. Something very surprising. It is to be experienced, that's all I would say. And then you'll be surprised at yourself how fantastic you are. Just now you don't know what you are, to be very frank. You don't know what you are. It's a fantastic thing that human being is at the epitome of all your evolution, at the epitome. Just a wee bit of journey, and you are there. This is the last breakthrough of our evolution. Just last breakthrough.
How do you tell the difference between egotistical desire and spiritual property? Sorry? Prompting. Egotistical desire and a prompting from the divine coming from some other source.
Just now, your desire should be, you should get your self-realization. That's all, simple. Very simple, isn't it? Now, then the ego disappears. How? Just now I showed you it is sucked in. So there's no more ego, no more your conditioning. Is it clear cut to you? Just now only simply you have to desire that you want your self-realization. That's all. It is not egoistical or anyway it is this thing. Then, how do you know it is from the divine? All right. So now, what you have to do when you have got realization, then you put your hands like this and ask for anything. Now, if you are not believer of God, you ask, is there God? Ask 3 times. Start getting cold breeze. Now, if there's a nasty fellow who is saying that he's a big master, ask a question, is he a master? You might get a blister a little bit. Everything. Was Christ the Son of God? All right, ask the question. Whatever is the truth, you will know. Yourself. You have to certify yourself. Nobody has to tell you. You will know yourself. Once you become the master, you'll be amazed. You will know so much. I mean, it is a very subtle science, very subtle thing about this divine machinery within us, which we have described in the Bible as the tree of life. It's very subtle. But people know it in no time. When 1 month's time, they are experts. Just experts. Anything you want to know, in the beginning you'll have to use your hands. Later on, you don't have to use also. It will be just revelation coming to you. It will be all revealed. The second state is called as doubtless awareness. Nirvikalpa samadhi, doubtless awareness. Is a state where you start giving realization to others, working it out. Then suddenly you become that state. It's not a question of mental, but it's a state where you can give realization, you can cure people. I mean, then you don't ask questions, you stand here and answer like he would do, Stephen. Like you become the light. And Christ has said that you do not put the light under a measure. So, yes, please.
After this kind of few questions, I was not here in your previous.
Yeah.
But I was put one or two questions. In Krishna religion, the Bible says there that Christ was there. It says, it talks, I think he was 12 years old. And then he disappeared, and he appeared back 22 years old. Some people believe he was somewhere in India.
That's a fact.
He was there studying Krishna theories and so on.
No, he was there. He did not need any studying. Didn't need any studying as such. But he was there because, you see, India is, I must tell you, that that time, India was a country of yoga. It's a country of very deep knowledge and wisdom. And this knowledge of Kundalini, they all knew about it. Only thing they could not do it en masse. It is a country of great divine culture also. That is a fact. And that Christ came there because he felt very convenient there. I come from a family called as Shalivahanas. He was a old king in a long time back. There's a calendar also in that Shalivana. In his books, they have read that he met Christ in Kashmir. And he asked him, what's your name? So he said, my name is Isa. And he said, you are from this country? He said, no. I come from another country, which is a foreign country, but this is my country. Very clearly he said it. It's all in Sanskrit, written down in the books of this. So interesting it is that he was here definitely. And also there's a tomb of Mother Mary in one place. Even Moses died in Kashmir. There's a valley there, Nebi Valley, which is described in the Bible, and is there. I told this long time back, but now there's a book they said about it. So all these things are true because, you see, India was a place of great peace and yoga, because the reason might be, I think, that the climate in India is so good that you don't have to worry about, too much worry about going out of the house or to fight the nature. There's no need to fight. Nature is very good. So people could live in jungles, you see, without any problem. Fruits were there, everything. And then they become introverts and started trying to find out about themselves. So the growth that was outside in the West started inside in India. So as such a big organization, or you can say such a big civilization has been created in the West, also it must have its roots. You see, the same tree must have roots, and this is the knowledge of the roots. So you can find so many things which are absolutely describing this Kundalini. Till the 12th century in India, they used to have awakening of one guru will have one master, one only. Traditionally, it was like that till the 12th century. And all this was in Sanskrit language, like 13,000 years back. There was Markandeya who has written about it. Then 6th century, Adi Shankaracharya has again written. Everybody has written about the Kundalini, that that's the only way you can get your realization and all that. But then only on the 12th century, Sant Gyaneshwara from Maharashtra, he wrote it in Marathi language in his book Gyaneshwari, in the 6th chapter, that it is the Kundalini. And he asked permission from his guru. His own brother was his guru, that at least allow me to write it down. That's the first time. Then we got Guru Nanaka. There we have so many people who have said about it. Ramadasa, so many people have talked about it. So, as we have to learn science from the West, it doesn't matter if we have to learn this science from the East, because it is for our good, for our nourishment. But I would say that it's not only even, I would say, William Blake, then you can say Lewis. So many of them have described about these times very clearly, very clearly. So that shows that it was there. Like Lao Tse has talked about Tao. Tao is nothing but Kundalini. And Zen is nothing but Dhyana. So all of them knew about it, but they didn't know how to give it a mass realization. So it became all language, you see, that's all. It's just talking. It never became an experience with you. So if you go to China, they talk about Lao Tse, but they don't know that you must get your realization. This is the problem, is that this is said again and again, you have to be born again. Then they put a brand, born again. You cannot be born again without anything inside you. It's just a brand, another brand that you are born again. You are born again, then you get powers. The first power is that you can give realization to others. Second, you can cure people. Thirdly, you become a witness. So many powers there are. These powers must manifest, otherwise, just if you become a governor, you must have some powers, otherwise you just brand yourself as governor. Nobody's going to accept you. So it's not any clan or anything. It is just your evolutionary process by which you become, and then you find the collective, because the microcosm becomes the macrocosm. A drop becomes the ocean. And then the whole ocean is there, your own. That's a wonderful thing. That should happen to all of us. All right?
Shall we have it?
Yes, please. You.
All these things you're describing occur with the realization, or do you need to do something to refine after you receive the realization?
Do all these things that you are speaking about happen with realization, or do you have to refine the process after the realization? Do you have to expand it?
No. I never needed any realization. My child, I was born with realization. All right? I told you I knew all these things. As far as I am concerned, I would say you take your realization and then you will know about me. All right? Because what's the use of my telling you anything? If I tell you anything, Christ said that he was the Son of God, which was a fact, but they crucified him. Now, I don't want to get crucified. All right? So you better know me when you have got your realization. That's a much better thing than to know me as it is. I may say anything, nonsense. Why should you believe me? You should not. And you should not believe even if I say that these things happen till you get it. That's very much better. There's no need to have blind faith into anything. Blind faith is not going to lead you anywhere. Till you have received the experience, you should not believe into anything. First receive your realization, you certify yourself, and then say what you have to say. All right? So I think we have had enough of questioning. So let us have now the experience, which will take only 10 minutes. But those who do not want to have the experience should not disturb others by staying over. They should leave the hall. But those who want to have the experience should stay here. एक बात हिंदुस्तानियों से कहना है कि आप लोग बीच में उठ के मत जाइए. कल 5-6 हिंदुस्तानी लोग वहां बैठे थे और उठ करके गए. बहुत भद्दा लगता है. ये आपका हेरिटेज है, पता चलना चाहिए. ये आपका धरोहर वारसा है, और उसमें से आप हिंदुस्तानी होकर के उठ के चले जाते हैं. ये लोग आपके बारे में क्या सोचेंगे? कल 4-5 लोग खट से उठ के चले गए और सब लोग देखने लगे कि हिंदुस्तानी क्यों उठ के चले गए. और ऐसे गुरु खूब रखे हुए हैं, मठ रखे हुए हैं, गुरुओं के पास जाएंगे, उनको पैसा भरेंगे. ये सब धंधे चलते रहते. कोई जरा सा 4 रुपए निकाल के दे या एक अंगूठी निकाल के दे, उसके पीछे भागेंगे. तो इससे क्या दिखाई देता है कि लोगों को समझ नहीं आता कि हिंदुस्तान के लोग जो यहाँ आए वो ऐसे क्यों. मुझे तो समझाने में मुश्किल जाती. वो तो मैं कहती हूँ कि जैसे आम का पेड़ ला के इंग्लैंड में लगाइए तो उसमें आम नहीं आना, नहीं आना, उसमें वो सेब भी नहीं आना. वो हाल होगा इन लोगों का. ऐसे करना नहीं चाहिए. अपनी जो चीज है उसकी इज्जत दिखानी चाहिए. कल भी ऐसा हुआ और भी जगह होता है. तो मुझे आश्चर्य होता है कि इतनी बड़ी चीज आप लोगों के लिए हम लाए हैं. आप ही की अपनी चीज है, उसको पाना चाहिए, उसको लेना चाहिए और उसका महत्व समझना चाहिए. नहीं तो नारियल फोड़ेंगे, वो घंटा मारेंगे, सब करेंगे और जो असलियत है उसको नहीं पाएंगे. जिसको पाना है उसको पाना चाहिए. अभी भी 3-4 हिंदुस्तानी उठ के चले. अभी मंदिर में जाके बैठेंगे वहां घंटा बजाते हुए. फिर आपके बच्चे नहीं भगवान को मानने वाले, ये समझ लीजिए. आप आपके बच्चे कभी नहीं मानने वाले. सोचते ये क्या मूर्खता कर रहे हैं, सुबह से शाम घंटा मारते रहते और कुछ मिला नहीं था. सब वही धंधे तुम्हारे चल रहे हैं. और हिंदुस्तान में ऐसे नहीं है. हिंदुस्तान में जबरदस्त है. वहां के लोग और हैं. अभी दिल्ली में तो 12,000 से कम नहीं आते, 16,000 आते हैं. नोएडा में उससे आगे 10,000 आते हैं. बम्बई में तो 15,000 16,000 लोग आते हैं, पार हो गए. लेकिन ये रोना गाना बाहर ही दिखाई देता है. 2-4 आएंगे वो भी उठ के चले जाए. तो अगर फिर आना ही नहीं चाहिए, और अगर आओ भी तो फिर आपको चले जाना नहीं चाहिए. कम से कम कुछ तो इज्जत करनी चाहिए. है ना बात सही? हमारे सज्जनों को बड़ा आश्चर्य होता है कि कैसे लोग हैं, कैसे करते हैं, कुछ समझ में नहीं आता. बहुत आश्चर्य करते हैं. अब देखिए कैसे संस्कृत में इन्होंने मंत्र कहे. एक ऐसे गाने सुने हैं कभी आपने, जिस तरह से लोग गाते हैं? यहाँ आकर इनकी गंदी बातें सीख लेते हैं, पर अपने देश की अच्छी बातें मत भूलिए, वो बहुत जरूरी है. यहाँ तो इतने हिंदुस्तानी हैं और सब ऐसे ही पैसे के पीछे में, पैसे के पीछे में. अरे भाई पैसे के पीछे में रहो, लेकिन परमात्मा का अगर पैसे में भी कोई अर्थ नहीं रहता, क्या मजा आएगा? पैसे का भी मजा नहीं आता. आप लोग कम से कम पार हो जाइए, समझे आप, समझदारी से. I'm sorry I had to talk to them in Hindi language, you don't know. All right. Now, it's very simple. You have to take out your shoes, because this Mother Earth helps us a little, just to take out your shoes and put both the feet apart from each other. Now, as I told you, you have to desire. And symbolically, when you put your left hand towards me on your lap only, not with any difficulties, just in your lap, comfortably, that is, you are desiring to have your realization, because the left side is the power of desire. With the right hand, we'll try to nourish our centers, and this nourishment will help us to raise our own Kundalini. It's very simple. This you have to do only once or twice. Yesterday, some people must have done it, and today, but otherwise there's no need to do it in my absence. They will tell you what is to be done. It's very simple to correct your centers. But there are 3 conditions which are very simple and which are very logical. The first one is that you have to be absolutely self-confident that you will get your realization. In no way you should be deficient. All of you can get your self-realization without any difficulties if you have your self-confidence. Secondly, you should not feel guilty at all. There's no need to feel guilty in my presence. At this present moment, forget the past. See, all those people who tell you you are a sinner, you are this, forget them. It's nonsense. There isn't anything like that. You are, after all, human beings. If you do not commit mistakes, it's all right. After all, you are not gods. So you should not have these feelings that I am guilty. In my lecture, if I have said something also, you forget it. It is not for you to make guilty at all. If you feel guilty, then you catch a center here on the left-hand side. We call it the left Vishuddhi. And when you catch the center, then you get a problem called as angina or spondylitis. And sometimes all organs become lethargic. So please don't feel guilty. That is one thing very important. Secondly, you have to forgive everyone. Everyone you have to forgive, because whether you forgive or don't forgive, you don't do anything. But if you don't forgive, then you play into wrong hands. Now logical again. If you don't forgive anyone, then you are playing into wrong hands, not the person who has troubled you. He is quite happy or she is quite happy. But you are the one who is suffering. Isn't it? So best is to forgive. Forgive them, every one of them, and don't even think of them, because it's not good. No use. Why should you think of them even? They are good for nothing. So just forgive all of them, once for all. That's the third condition. That's all. I think it's clear to you, it's very logical. These 3 conditions are not something great. You can easily do it. Now you put your left hand towards me and right hand on your heart. I will first show you. You can keep your eyes open. Later on you have to close your eyes. In the heart resides the spirit. So first we put our hand on our heart. Then if you are the spirit, you become your guide, your master. So we put our right hand in the upper portion of our abdomen on the left hand side. He will show you. Just come forward a little. Then we have to take down our hand in the lower portion of our abdomen on the left hand side. This is the center of pure knowledge. Knowledge by which we know how to handle this divine power, how to work it out. It's pure knowledge because it is absolute. Then you take your right hand in the upper portion of your abdomen. Again. Then onto your heart. Then onto your corner of your neck and your shoulder, and put your head to your right. I've already told you about this center. Again, this is catching. Don't feel guilty. For heaven's sake, don't feel guilty. You are not going to miss your realization for that. Now, please put your right hand on top of your head across, putting the fingers on one side and the thumb on the other, and put down your head as far as possible. This is the center. We have to forgive everyone in general. Now, take your right hand, the back side of your head, and push back your head as far as possible. Here now, without feeling guilty, without counting your mistakes, you have to ask forgiveness from this all-pervading divine power, called as Parama Chaitanya. Now, stretch your hand fully. Now the last center is important. Put the stretched palm on top of your fontanelle bone area, the talu, which was a soft bone in your childhood. Now, push back your fingers. This is important. Push back your fingers so there's a good pressure on your scalp. Now, please put down your head as far as possible. And now move it clockwise. Clockwise 7 times. That's all we have to do. But just stretch back your fingers, that's important. Now remember, you have to put both your feet apart from each other. You have to sit in a manner that you are comfortable, not slouching too much or stretching yourself. If there's anything that is tight on your waist or on your neck, please make it a little loose. And now you have to close your eyes. You can remove your spectacles because you should not open your eyes till I tell you. Please now put your right hand on your heart. Here you have to say about yourself a very fundamental question you have to ask me. You can call me Mother or Shri Mataji, whatever you feel like. Mother, am I the spirit? Ask this question in your heart 3 times. Mother, am I the spirit? 3 times ask in your heart. It's a very fundamental question which will help to open the center. Now, if you are the spirit, you are your guide, your master. So now please take your hand onto the left side. We are working only on left side of your abdomen on the upper part and press it hard. And now ask another fundamental question. Mother, am I my own master? Mother, am I my own master? Ask the question 3 times. I've already told you that I respect your freedom and I cannot force pure knowledge on you. So, you have to ask for it. Now take down your right hand in the low portion of your abdomen and press it hard. And here you have to ask 6 times because this center has got 6 petals. Mother, please give me pure knowledge. As soon as you ask for pure knowledge, this power of Kundalini starts rising upward. So we have to nourish the upper chakras, the centers, with our confidence, self-confidence. So now, take your right hand in the upper portion of your abdomen on the left-hand side, press it hard, and here you say, with full confidence, 10 times, Mother, I am my own master. Say it with full confidence. Mother, I am my own master. You have to know that you are not this body, not this mind, not these conditionings, not this ego, not these emotions, but you are pure spirit. So now please put your right hand on your heart, and with full confidence you have to say again 12 times in your heart, Mother, I am the pure spirit. Please say 12 times, Mother, I am the pure spirit. This divine power is the ocean of love, ocean of knowledge, ocean of compassion and bliss. But above all, it is the ocean of forgiveness. So whatever mistakes you might have committed can be easily dissolved in the power of this ocean of forgiveness. So please forgive yourself and take your right hand in the corner of your neck and your shoulder as far back as possible and turn your head to your right. Now here with full confidence, you have to say 16 times, Mother, I am not guilty at all. I have already told you that you have to forgive everyone in general. You don't have to think about them at all. And just remember that whether you forgive or don't forgive, you don't do anything. But if you don't forgive, then you'll play into wrong hands. So now, put your hand on your forehead across with your thumb on one side and fingers on the other side and hold your forehead. Now put down your head, bring it down as far as possible. Please bring it down. And here you have to say with full confidence, from your heart, not how many times, from your heart. Mother, I forgive everyone in general. Mother, I forgive everyone in general. You have to say it from your heart, not how many times. Please put down your head. This is a center which is extremely constricted, and if you do not say that, it won't open. So please forgive everyone. Just say that I forgive everyone in general. Mother, I forgive everyone in general. It's very important. Just to say. Now, take back your hand on the back side of your head and push back your head as far as possible. Here, without feeling guilty, without counting your mistakes, just for your satisfaction, please say, not how many times, but again from your heart, O Divine Power, please forgive me if knowingly or unknowingly I have done something wrong. O Divine Power, please forgive me knowingly or unknowingly if I have done something wrong against you. Please say this from your heart, not how many times, but from your heart. Push back your head as far as possible. Now, the last center, which is very important, stretch your palm fully. Put the center of your palm on top of the fontanelle bone area, which was a soft bone in your childhood. This is the actualization of your baptism. So now, push back your fingers. Push back your fingers. Put down your head. Please put down your head. Push back your fingers. Here again, I respect your freedom. I cannot force self-realization on you. So please, while moving your hands 7 times slowly, moving the scalp, please say 7 times, Mother, please give me self-realization. This you have to ask for 7 times. Please put down your head. Now, please take down your hands. Now put both the hands towards me like this. You can wear your glasses and watch me without thinking. Without thinking. Now put the right hand towards me and bend your head and see for yourself if there's a cool breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area. You don't have to put it on top of your head, away from your head. Sometimes you get it very far also. Now, please put your left hand towards me. Please put down your head and see with your right hand if there's a cool breeze coming out of your head. Now, the right hand again. Please put the right hand towards me, and with the left hand see again if there's a cool breeze coming out of your head. Maybe hot. It might be a hot breeze or a hot air coming out if you have not forgiven or you have some liver problem. So please forgive and get the cool breeze. But it's all right. Hot or cool breeze doesn't matter for the time being. Now, please put both the hands up towards the sky like this. Push back your head and ask one of these questions. Mother, is this the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost? Or, Mother, is this the all-pervading power of God's love? Or, Mother, is this the Parama Chaitanya? Ask any one of these questions 3 times. Now take down your hands. Just put your hands. You'll feel the cool breeze. In the hand like this. Just see. All those who have felt the cool breeze in their hand or hot, these or on their fingertips or through their fontanelle bone area, please raise both your hands. See. May God bless you. All of you have got it. हो गया आप लोग पार? हुआ कि नहीं? ठंडा आया? तुम्हारे आ गया? आपके नहीं आया? आ गया? Again, those who have felt it, please put both your hands, I would like to see again. The whole of Brisbane has got it practically for 1 or 2 persons. May God bless you all. May God bless you. So it doesn't matter, some people haven't got it, doesn't matter. They must be thinking about it too much, I think. Whatever it is, they'll all get it. They have to just go for the follow-on we have. Also we have a general follow-on. There are some very good surgeries here, luckily. We have a very good center. They'll tell you all about it. You don't have to pay for anything whatsoever. And you'll get whatever you want to know, whatever problems you have. All these things can be solved. So may God bless you all. I'm very happy. That's what